And everybody, you heard that we are rocking this blockchain. We're going to ignite things around here. And I am the crypto woman, otherwise known as Elizabeth. And this is Alberto Fernandez, otherwise known as Almonte. And he is joining us here to celebrate and talk about the next blockchain and Ardor platform. Alberto's been around with us for a long time, and he's one of the quiet ones who does a lot, and he's here to talk about that. Alberto, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity, for letting me explain my vision and also my knowledge about the blockchain and the Ardor platform. So I was introduced in the NXT ecosystem back in 2014. It was when I was playing with Bitcoin, and I discovered this blockchain that it has so many advantages in terms of power consumption. Also, the consensus algorithm was much better, and I was waiting for the source code to be released. So when the source code was released and I had the opportunity to review the code, I was really, really happy. I found finally a blockchain that was able to run in a small guy like this, you know.
Yes, thanks for showing us. That makes it look a little more real.
Yeah. So that was the first time I got introduced to the blockchain NXT. But I was working behind the scenes. To be fair, I wasn't very involved into the community at that stage because I was running my company in Spain, and I didn't have so much time to work with the community. But it was interesting because I was working as a software middleware specialist, and I had to learn many programming languages such as Java, Go, C++, and so on. So I started to have vision that blockchain was going to disrupt this environment. And with my clients, I was trying to show what are the advantages about using blockchain, and particularly NXT. And at that period of time, it was really hard. I don't know if any members of the community felt the same way, but it was discouraging when you were showing something about NXT, always receiving such a bad feedback for bad distribution and so on. But the good thing is that that's from the past. Right now, we are in one of our best moments in terms of position, also in terms of respect, because now we are able, and I have been experiencing this myself this year, we are able to show our solutions based on NXT or Ardor, and they are open to it. So it's wonderful how it works. So that was my main background. In 2015, I relocated to UK. I founded my company. It's called Stake, focusing Ardor platform and also blockchain solutions.
Okay.
And I've been traveling a lot. I've been working in many different countries since then, and looking forward for the next year that it's going to be really, really interesting for the Ardor platform as well as the blockchain development. There were many proof of concepts this year with many companies, and I think it's going to be a really, really interesting year.
I'm so excited about this year too. And it's messengers like you who help the world know that our time has arrived. You know, we have some mature, tested products now that are ready to be used. Blockchain as a service, right? And
finally, we were waiting for this moment from so many years, and
sometimes
now
patiently and sometimes impatiently, right?
yeah, that's right. And now I think we have to, as you were Van Broek mentioned in your previous interview, we have to try to educate people about how to use blockchain. What's a blockchain for? Because it's very important that when a company doesn't need a blockchain solution, we have to tell them not to use blockchain for you, not to use the whatever reason. But when we know the use cases that they can take disadvantage of the technology, it's now the moment to try to move forward these companies for the blockchain adoption.
That's right, not to try and fit a solution into a problem that doesn't exist, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the thing.
So you're busy. From all of the pictures that you post and the places you go and talk, you've been busy traveling and taking the message of blockchain and NXT and Ardor to a lot of different places.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of different places. I had this opportunity because of my work, working as a middleware expert. I've been involved in projects that it takes a lot of development departments to work with. So when I have the opportunity, when I see where a blockchain solution will work perfectly with their requirements, they are listening and they say, okay, how we can do this? So let's do a proof of concept or something like that. They are willing to receive the information, to receive their learning services in order to achieve the results. So
can you give us an example of a use case without really revealing any projects that are not ready to be disclosed yet?
One of the use cases that it's been very interesting, it's about the identity management. That's really a good example of how we can use a blockchain. And when you have several companies and you need a trustless environment, trustless is a term, a curious term,
because it needs some explanation, right?
Yeah.
And
yes.
You're welcome to explain.
The thing is that when we want to establish a trustless environment and we want to share a common database, also a good aspect is to be a permission database. That was a major requirement in most of my projects. That's a great use case. Also, I could say that another use case, it's into the supply chains when they have several states and they want to store everything and there are different companies involved. It's such a great use case. And now, I'm really excited with the Ardor platform, the new Ardor Gate. I think it's going to be a game changer. Because one of the biggest problems that I've been experiencing with blockchains in companies is the interconnection. When we expose and when we try to convince a company to use blockchain, they are thinking, okay, well, I know that this could be a good product right now, but I'm not sure how it's going to be the future. Because if I want to evolve or I want to connect to another blockchain, what's going to happen then? So they are worried about that. So I think that the blockchain interconnection is something that also it's important for businesses. And with the Ardor platform, for instance, with the multi-signature wallet, and now with the child chain connections to the different child chains, it's really great. Great in the sense it's going to be very easy for me to propose a solution. If I have to propose this solution with Ethereum, for instance, it will be much more complicated.
Yes, you're right. It's nice that it's about ready to use right out of the box. I mean, we've got all the features that are on Ignis, for instance, of the NXT platform that are tried and true, and they're all available to the child chains going into the future, and with a little bit of a development and tweaking, or none, if that's what you need, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also, I'm very happy when we have to deal with atomic or small transactions, rather than using smart transactions that they are, sometimes against us, because we have to be very careful about what we are coding. With more atomic transactions, with the new phase transaction, the advanced phase transaction in the Ardor platform, and that's also a very nice feature for us as developers.
Yes.
Because it makes our life much easier. We don't have to take care. It's everything out of the box. So only we have to take care about the design, and we can forget about other stuff. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, excitingly, Petco will be here tomorrow. He worked on the phase transactions, and we'll talk a little bit more about that.
I won't miss that interview then. Yeah.
Well, you can catch it later. It'll be on the Facebook page for everybody. Actually, this is true, and I'm going to post them to YouTube when I get a chance, and I'm going to put them on ardornext.group website. So you have lots of time to catch up. Because we're going to keep talking. We've got a lot of really interesting and exciting people to talk with, but. I just think that it's absolutely amazing and exciting how much work and message carrying that you've actually been doing behind the scenes to take the message of not just blockchain, but NXT and Ardor to businesses throughout Europe. And you have plans to continue to do that.
Yeah, my plans are to continue to do that. Even I have a candidate date for a meetup in Romania. It's going to be the 12th of January. I have an sponsor from a hotel. I was knocking all the doors, trying to find a sponsor, and I got one hotel with a very nice conference room that they are willing to sponsor this. So I'm very happy with it. Now I'm trying to catch up with the people from here, students from IT, and also some companies. And if I have more than 20 people, it's going to be a go. So it will be my first blockchain introduction, but based on the Ardor platform. Because mainly with my company, I have to be agnostic. I have been introducing most of them. Although, it's very, very hard for me to hide that my the best option for me is the Ardor platform.
Yes. So that's in Romania, and it's you told me the town.
Yeah, it's Arad. It's very, very near Timișoara in the west Romania, close to the border to Hungary.
Okay, and that's on January 12th. And if any of you listening can attend and support Alberto, please do that, right?
Oh, yes, please. If anyone has some presentations or videos to share with me, I already have collected several. There are, I don't know whether I will have time or not to introduce how to make code transactions with Ardor and with NXT, because that's interesting. But if you have something to share me, please do it, because I highly appreciate it.
Why don't you, after this meeting or sometime next week, get in touch with me, and I will see if I can't put some materials into your hands.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do for you.
Yeah, great. And well, I think also with these meetings, it's very important that we have to adjust our message to the audience, because when we talk to developers, it's okay. We go to a very technical speaking, and they are also very happy to have in a very technical way. But sometimes we have to forget about the technical stuff, and we are working with, from my experience, decision makers. We have to talk differently. We have to be able to be attracted to the idea about using this technology without hesitation. If we talk too much about the technology, they get frustrated. And now it seems Yes, yes. Also, for technical people, it's very good to have some hands-on exercise because it's a very easy way to learn what you are explaining, and also they don't get bored about what you are explaining if they don't put their hands on the product to
So
see
tell
how.
us what you do when you go into a business situation and you're trying to give them a hands-on experience. Tell us how you do that.
Yeah. Well, first we have to size what's the audience is, and in some case, I don't have time to talk about anything else, just blockchain and how it works. It's very important also to talk about the consensus algorithms, and if it's the case that they don't understand much about software and so on, it's I go just to explain the use cases and how I think that it's going to change their work. If, for instance, we are for a forensic company that they only work and they deal with some kind of this stuff. I explain how forensics is going to evolve in case they are going to use a blockchain. Yeah, that's mainly what I'm trying to do. But now, you know what happens at the end of any of these meetings. Everybody asks me about how to get involved, how can I invest in this platform. It's it's good, but I prefer people get attracted about the technology rather than quick profits, and I think that could be an issue nowadays.
Yes, there are two kinds of people that enter this community, and that are and it's fair for people who want to invest to want some profit. But what I'm finding out, at least with the people who've been around for a while, is that without a very big budget to work with, but a lot of ideals and a lot of visions, that people are pretty dedicated to the fundamental message of what blockchain, and particularly NXT and Ardor platform, can
Yeah,
bring to the blockchain um,
yeah,
and
yeah,
business connection. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
very excited. Now we got so excitedly jumped into what's going on now. Tell us how you found NXT and what just grabbed you about it and made you stick around.
About NXT, you
Yeah.
mean in sense of this moment?
No, way back when. How did you find out about it and
Oh yeah.
what
Well,
attracted you?
it was I think by mistake because yes, because I was searching about Bitcoin. I was trying to see some posts about exchange and how they were connecting. So I found this NXT announcement with BCNX. So I was, what is this? This is a new blockchain, but this is another consensus algorithm, proof of stake. This is really interesting. So
Mhm.
let's have a look. So that was how I got attracted. It was by chance.
By chance. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was the message of the consensus algorithm that grabbed you, that made you want to stick around, or more?
Yeah, because with Bitcoin, one of the major weakness that I saw it was that you have to pay a lot of in hardware if you want to mine. It's okay because the proof of work makes the network quite secure. You don't have to worry about double spending and those common problems.
Mhm.
But it's quite stupid idea that you have to do a lot of calculation to find a block that starts with as many zeros as unions, changing these norms every time. So why it's a lot of effort, energy consumption wise, it's not, quite good.
Mhm.
So I love the proof of stake, and once that now we can have that, we have a very healthy distribution. It's not like they were claiming before many people. The proof of stake is quite good. We can see that it's a really good idea because Ethereum it's trying to implement a proof of stake network. And also, in the child chain architecture, also we have this, they are with Plasma, they are trying to do more or less the same,
Yes. Yes.
So
we've done it.
yeah, so
To launch it into, the Ardor platform, NXT has been proof of stake since 2013, and we're applying that to Ardor platform with different scalability solutions, and launching it on January 1st. Wow.
Yeah. So we I think we have this such a great opportunity for next year, because we can see that we are the first platform with such an architecture like this, with parents and child chains. So yeah, if we are in the places that we have to be, I think we can compete with Ethereum. Also, if we attract more developers, that's the thing I'm trying to do, to attract more developers, to make them realize how easy it is to implement a blockchain solution based on the Ardor platform, that they don't have to be worried about many things. That's going to be a game changer, I think, and we can compete face-to-face with Ethereum.
I love that word, game changer. And isn't it so exciting to be part of disruptive and game-changing? I don't want to call it an event, because it's more of a, I don't know, it's a time of life. It's a period of life, this blockchain.
Yeah.
Part of it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. You know what? 4 years back, I was, trying to catch ears to explain my ideas about blockchain. And they were really, I think because of the news, because this Silk Road from Bitcoin, and also these scams that still we are suffering from scams. A couple of minutes ago, it was created a fake account from Florida, and they are trying to scam people. Because of that, there were many people that they were really skeptical about blockchain, but now it's different. All these years that they were listening my ideas, that I was saying, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to be, one part of the changing of the world. And they were like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Now they are calling me, and say, oh, so you were talking about this, like years back. So could you please, can we catch up so we can see?
Let's have some coffee, right? Hear that a lot. Right? You gotta talk. Yeah. So you're a real visionary, and you were a visionary back then. You saw this. You patiently waited for the implementation and the maturity of the program so that you could.
Yeah, I'm happy that. Yeah, I'm very happy that I have the opportunity, while I was working with many companies, to have some times, mainly at nights and in the weekends, to mount my own labs, for testing attacks based on the 51% attack to the proof of stake, to see how this behavior, because it was very good for me to invest this time in the blockchain technology, and now I'm taking I'm taking advantage and profit
of what you learned from. And a lot of, you were talking about on attracting developers, and a lot of people who might find this video and are listening, who are interested in developing, can download the next blockchain creation kit and play with it, pick it apart, tweak it, break it, and then do it all over again, just so that they can learn. So it's there for you. You can go to gellermedia.com and just download it and use it. So that's pretty exciting too, that we have that. Hopefully it'll be an entry.
Yeah. So for the
oh, I'm sorry. That's what. That's
so sorry. Yeah. So for the developers that are watching this video, I encourage you to download the NXT, the client, the developer kit that it's in the Gellerida, and make your own test. The thing is that also from your previous interview with Lee, that he said that if you are able to solve one problem that you have with the blockchain, then you will be able to solve somewhere else problems, and you can't, yeah, that's the idea. So yes, developers, please download the NXT developer kit. Okay.
Yes. Alberto, I was going to say you're hanging, and I was going to have you stop your video, but yeah, I think the stream caught back up with you, so we're all good. Just technology, it's all good again. It's all good. So, what's been your favorite part of working with this project over these years?
Well, my favorite part, I think, the feeling of being part of a group, of being part of something that I completely know that it's going to be very useful, not only for companies, also for the people. It's very encouraging to see that when someone wants, for instance, to implement a voting system, and you want this voting system to be totally safe or to be totally democratic, let's say, it's going to be possible. That's that feeling that you are working in something that it has such a great possibilities. It's really great. But the most part that I enjoy the most is developing, and also when I have to do these presentations with very talented people, that they challenge you to, in case you don't have the answer for everything, you have to learn by yourself how to do several stuff. That's really good. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's a self-learning environment from the get-go because years ago we didn't know the word blockchain. It came from a combination of different technologies, Merkle chains and things like that. But the concept of blockchain, the way we know it today, didn't exist. So a lot of people have had to educate themselves. You don't go take classes. I liked what Lee had to say, though. It challenged me to think a little bit more, is that maybe in several years we won't even recognize blockchain the way we have it today, because it's going to continue to evolve. That one kind of challenged my thinking.
For sure.
Yeah, right. So we've got to stay on top of this, and that's exciting.
And I totally agree with you, because with the blockchain, it was supposed to be just a distributed ledger and nothing else. And when NXT created the version with the assets exchange, for me that was like open a box full of possibilities that that was the main point when I saw that the blockchain use cases were going to be wider than I thought. And what you said, it's totally right. We don't know how this is going to evolve in the future. Yeah, but I was very happy when I saw the white paper of the ICO of Ignis. I have to say that it was one of the best white papers I've ever seen in my life.
It was even beautiful.
And I was very happy.
Wasn't it? It was beautiful. It wasn't. I loved it.
Yeah, it was very well done. Very well
Anybody
done.
watching this, find the white paper link on gelarita.com too. And it's a beautiful document. So. Yeah,
and I was very happy to see that in case they were raising many funds, they were interested in, investigating the directed cyclic graphs for the future, just in case you want to improve, create whatever evolution of the other platform or another product. I don't know. I was very happy to see that.
Right.
In terms of
the committed support of the NXT blockchain into the future too. That was encouraging.
Yeah, well, though at the first stage of the ICO, with these problems that this guy was trying to, present or make the buys buy the currency before it was already released. At the beginning, I was thinking, what's going on? But I was very happy that I think Gelurida was coding, under the clock to release a new version. So to create a new version, and after that, all the players were playing with the same rules. So that's I think it's good also for letting Gelurida be exposed as a more mature company, more serious company, and I like the evolution of Gelurida through this year.
Looks like we have a lot of legs that need to mature and grow together, and it's going to be exciting to get together next year. Maybe we can do this on New Year's next year.
Yeah, we should do that.
Next
year we have to catch up.
An anniversary, right? An anniversary conversation. Well, I hope we talk before then too, because I'm sure there'll be a lot of things for us to share about. There's a hackathon in London. If you're interested, you might want to.
I'm willing to go to this hackathon in London, though I was having a look about my agenda, and I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I would love to go.
Yeah, well, it's in the middle of the week. The calendar link that I sent you, I'll be posting on Facebook, and I'm going to try and fill that out for people so that they can see the different events that we hope to be at, or maybe somebody in the community that is eager to share can see an area in their or an event in their area and say, hey, I'll be the one to show up and hang out with you. So we'll be doing that. But again, it's incredible the amount of places you've gone and the presentations that you've given. And I want to thank you because I know that the whole community is cheering you on.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I was able to put my grain of salt to this, and indeed it's been quite a year for me. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind that next year it will be a little bit more relaxing, but always I say that, and it's not like that.
You'll always find something to stay challenged with. Probably.
Yeah.
It's the way we are. So there's a lot of new people entering this space, which means there's a lot of mistakes being made, and maybe a lot of people coming in with the wrong idea of what to expect and making decisions based on wrong expectations. Can you give us some words of advice or some words of wisdom to people who are coming in to either our community or even just blockchain or cryptocurrency in general?
Yeah, well, I think the most important when we are talking developing solutions with NXT or with the Ardor platform is to protect the private key. That's a must. And I've seen very, very elegant solutions to do that. I'm very happy as well that it's in the roadmap of development of Gelurida to implement integration with hardware wallets.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But this is not for companies. This is more for normal average Joe that wants to use the NXT blockchain, and he has their computer full of viruses, and it's a good way to protect them from these events. And apart from protecting the private key, I would say that a good advice is to create your own environment and before you are planning to go to live solutions or you are planning to promote to another environment. Okay, so I think that's the advice. And for the people that it's going to be introduced in Ardor platform or NXT, well, I know that they are already working in more user-friendly documentation but from my point of view, what we have in the wiki, and even if you download the full client, if you go to the API, it's quite straightforward. So it's not very hard to see what are all the what's everything for. We have many examples about wherever you want to try. So yeah, go to the documentation and have a look about learning. And also, we have a great community. I think it's one of the best outside. We are not as many as the Ethereum community, for instance, by now. Let's see how the next year goes. But don't be shy. You can ask. So that's the thing. Yeah.
Those are excellent pieces of advice. And I usually would wrap this up right now, but I want to actually backtrack to one of your pieces of advice about storing a private key and about viruses and keyloggers on your computer. And because we're reminiscing today about NXT,
Yeah.
I want to remind people in the community, and maybe you can even help me elaborate the story. We had at the beginning the people who initially invested with BC Next in the initial ICO of NXT. We called them whales because they were the ones who owned the masses of. And one of these whales went by the name of Klee, Klee, and he had a keylogger on his computer, and his private key was stolen, and so were his funds to the tune of millions. And it was a sad day because there was nothing to do about it. I think a lot of us, that was a wake-up call very early on for a lot of us to be more careful. And so I'm telling the story now to the people who may never have heard that these things really do happen, and be careful with your
and it could happen to any of us. It doesn't matter how you are trying to protect everything, but it's the hackers are quite smart and intelligent, though they are bad people. Okay, I'm talking about black hat
yes.
hackers. So we have to be very careful about that. That's why the way to create code transactions in NXT, I'm very happy to explain to people how it works.
Yes.
So, that's a very good advice. You have to know, and we have to educate people that this is a total decentralized environment where there is no one that can recover your funds in case your private key is stolen. So that's something that we have to take in mind always.
And that aspect that it's completely decentralized and there's no middleman to blame or to hold accountable or to help you or rescue you is really part of what makes blockchain and beautiful. But the downside is that we all have to take that personal responsibility for protecting.
But in the other hand, I'm very happy that these smart accounts that they were created as assets from the Gelurida ICO, trying to get funds. I was really happy, to see how Gelurida is going at least to give the Gelurida tokens to the people, that they were scammed by.
Yes, and we should try and put the link to Lior's article here in this. I'm going to write that down. And the other thing is, while we were talking about that, is I just saw a tweet from Gelurida right as we were entering into this call, and it was that another person has released another fake token with another very closely named asset for the Gelurida token, and they even have a fake website. So I don't have that information right at my fingertips here right now, but if you follow Gelurida, you can look at their Twitter, and I'll try and post that. Too.
Yeah, that's I think one of the best advice we can say to the novice people, for the newbies that are coming to the blockchain environment, or it doesn't matter, either they want to invest or they want to, to play around with the NXT or the Ardor platform, that's I would advise.
Yes, yes. Well, it's been a big pleasure to talk to you, and to I hope the rest of the community has enjoyed this as much as I have, and been maybe inspired by your good work on the behalf of the project, and we'll take some initiative too.
Yeah, likewise, Elizabeth. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, and we'll talk again soon, I'm sure. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.